Yo, what's up? This the Edge, and once again, another episode of Creative Life Podcast, where we focus on mindset, self-mastery, financial freedom, community networking, and lifestyle leisure. Today, I got the privilege because, it's when you see somebody that grow and glow, like my boy Nino Brown. My boy Nino Brown, I watched him grow up, and now to see him be successful, I think that's a beautiful thing, especially as somebody that's been around and seen the climb, and he fits Create the Life. He created a lane, he found some momentum, and he saw the lane. It's like when you run it back, you see the light, hit the light, run the daylight. My man ran the daylight. He started out in the front of the Rolex. So you see my boy in front of the Rolex selling CDs, doing what it takes to make $1. And now, my man got, I don't know how many followers, I don't know what kind of, I don't know, he got a cult-like following.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody following Nino.
Yeah, everybody following, man. It's a pleasure to be here first and foremost, man, with the Honorable Edgerrin James, a legend from the city of Miami, I'm talking about. So that's first and foremost. But yeah, built the following, like you say, brick by brick, day by day, one follower at a time. At first, when I was young, I wanted to rush through it, but now I understand it totally. You know what I'm saying? It take time. It come over time, not overnight.
And so you took your time, you built it up. And because at first you started out as a rapper.
Right.
No, you were selling the CDs, and then you figured out a lane in that. And you've been successful in every little hustle, so every hustle took you to another hustle.
Yeah, it's like a lead, when, like I said, I kept going till my calling called me. And I wasn't scared to take risks. You understand me? I understood I understood create the life for real, because I realized, okay, if I can't make it here, I'm gonna try that. I was gonna just keep trying until, so God is good that I found the lane of speaking. I was rapping, but now I'm speaking. It's just a different form of rap, but it's still mythology,
But what made you go from that? Cause I know you started out with Khaled.
Right.
You was with some major people that's doing big things.
Right.
But you just decided to, veer off and get to your own space. Like what gave you the confidence? What's the mindset of a person to say, man, look, I'm in a good space, I'm comfortable, and it's all right, but there's more.
Right. So what I like about you is, out of all the NFL players that I met, or NBA players rather, you one of the few that understood what it means to put that money up and actually have real success. I only say that to say this. When I got into the music entertainment business, I realized there was a lot of people capping and lying and faking. And that's what made me want to veer off and do motivational speaking. The reason I say that is when the COVID hit, right, and all them PPP loans came out, a lot of rappers got locked up first for fraud. So if you really was rich, why you frauding? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I only say that to say this. When I realized how fake that game was, I had to exit immediately, because I wasn't finna be faking. I wanted real money. I came from faking. Like, I came from acting like I was doing something I wasn't, and I was trying to make it. You had to fake it till you make it. That's the real essence of it, right? So when I really made it, I ain't got to fake it no more. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just wanted to really create that life.
But a lot of times, there's the cliche that they fake it till you make it. So a lot of people, they take that and they really do it.
Right.
But you saw that, hey, there ain't no light at the end of the tunnel. So you just got to go and get into what you got to get into.
Right. You got to run till you see daylight. And I ain't see daylight faking it. I seen daylight when it was really real, when I seen you pull up on me in a Lamborghini for the first time. I got to go to you, because while I'm out there trying, you actually was doing it. You get what I'm saying? And you ain't no rapper.
It's two different lanes, though. I came from an athletic. You came from, like, a real, just, I got the grind. I got to figure it out, because you know, sometimes people born with athletic ability,
Right.
sports
Right.
is they path.
Right.
But when you going into the space that you was in, it's like it's like a everybody
Yeah.
can try it and everybody can go at it.
But
And
not
some
many
people
gonna make
succeed.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so for the people that don't really know you or whatever, when you talk about you and your IG
Okay.
and people that's trying to say, okay, who is Nino Brown? Like, who is Nino Brown? Because I know you from two different spaces. You know, one space is I watched the young brother that never gave up.
Right.
And then now I scroll on my Instagram, I'm always seeing Nino Brown.
Right.
So who is that guy?
Nino Brown is a brand, that understood persistence and consistency. Nino Brown is a man that transcended from impatient to being patient. And patience is a talent. So you got to be patient, just like a running back looking for a hole. You can't, you got to wait till the hole clear up to hit it. So the Nino Brown I became came from overcoming trauma, overcoming obstacles, overcoming adventures in my life that was traumatic experiences. That's Nino Brown. Nino Brown like to give back to the people. Nino Brown love. Nino Brown is more into the 4 quarters than 100 pennies. I don't like 100 men around me that ain't about nothing. I like 4 quarters around me that's solid. You get what I'm saying? Nino
Right.
Brown understand OG principles. That's Nino Brown. You understand me? The rich kid that I was fascinated about money, fascinated about fame. Now I'm more into character. I'm more into principles.
At what point in your life
Mhm.
or what pivotal moment that made you make that adjustment to say, okay, I got to make this shift?
Being around a lot of fraudulent people. See, money can buy materialistic things. Money can buy houses, cars. Money can buy a man, but money don't make a man real. So that's what made me want to transcend and do things, because I realized some of the most realest people I met didn't have money. They had character. Some of the most realest people I met didn't wear jewelry. They jewelry was here. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what made me want to do that instead of do this. But we need the money to pay the bills. We need the money to keep the lights on. We need the money to find the daylight. We had to get to the money, but we wanted real money. We don't want to be out here capping with the big Rolls Royce, the big jewelry, the big Rolex, the big chains, right? But you living in some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We wanted to really have it, not show it. Everybody don't wear their money. You get what I'm saying?
Big dogs don't wear their money.
Big dogs don't wear their money. You got to figure it out. We come from Dickies and Kangos where you had to figure it out, but we were banging the same. I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep it real.
You're supposed to keep it real, man. That's the beauty of creative life, man. Creative life is everything life, So, we like to stay in a positive mindset. And sometimes, to get to that positive mindset to deliver that message, you got to tell the real. And that's what it's always. That's what it's all about. I always wanted to keep it real. I always want to be straight up. You can have a situation where you can do gossip and you can do things to belittle people,
Clickbait.
to get clicks,
Right.
and we choose not to. And that's not my personality. I never won from taking shortcuts. Everything been a grind, so I appreciate the grind.
Right.
And watching your grind, that right there is something that I can sit back and say, man, I witnessed this young kid, rich kid. His name used to be Rich Kid.
Rich Kid. And
Rich
wasn't
Kid.
rich, but I knew it. See, I was rich in soul. I was rich in grind. I was rich in hustle. I stand in front of a club and sell my tape. You understand me? So that's what I mean by rich. I knew I ain't had nothing, but I had nothing to lose either. You get what I'm saying? So it was all about trying to go there. But yeah. And you know what? I do respect that you stay on that positive note, because believe it or not, this the church when church ain't open. You get what I'm saying? Church open only on Sunday.
My man preaching, boy. Preach, Nino.
You understand me? People need to know that you can create the life you want to live 7 days a week, not just on Sunday. And that's what he giving to y'all, and that's what y'all got to receive and understand. It ain't about gossiping. We know them people. They just like us. They make mistakes, and they all fall short of the glory of God. But at the end of the day, man, we all the same, man. That's it.
My man Nino Brown coming in here kicking that real game, man.
Real talk.
And no, like when one of the pillars that we focus on is like community networking, you know.
Right.
And for you, when I say community, I know you big on giving back to the
Oh,
community.
100%.
I remember you used to have a video when you walk up on somebody, hand them a few dollars.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, you know, like sometimes people will say, okay, yeah, a person doing that for show.
Right.
But, you know, I look at it in a different way because you can do things and people not know that you're doing things, and then you never get credit for it.
Right.
And so you have to give your own self credit because people will really look at you like you're not doing stuff. Not that you're doing it for credit, but just to kind of satisfy yourself and knowing that you're doing it. You know, that was always when I look at it, I'm like, I don't have a problem with a person showing that they did something powerful because, you know, for years I've done so many things. I never put it on display, and it was always from the heart. But you never get the credit for it. Nobody knows that you're doing it.
Right.
And so you still got to show. Like I think it's only right when you're doing good things, man. Put it out there because not for you, but to show other people, man. Like y'all need to get out here and do this stuff too. Like keep doing it. Do it, and be an example. And not that you need the credit, but you're doing those things.
Like many men go to the club and they hold the camera up throwing strippers $100. But then when they see a homeless man walking up to the window, they roll the window up. So my whole thing was, if I could film myself giving somebody some money to let people know it's okay. These people are human. They not animals. You can do it too. It's okay. And then you seen rappers like Floyd. You seen Drake take my initiative and make a whole video about it called what I forget the name of
God's
the
Plan.
God's Plan, where he giving out money to the homeless in Miami like I was doing it, but he doing it on a bigger scale.
Right.
So I made it cool, and Tekashi 6ix9ine and this one follow. You know, the Alita blazed the trail first, and not just that. I never wanted credit for doing that because I knew I did it from my heart because I realized I'm just one late payment away from being homeless myself.
Right.
It's not about just showing off and trying to flaunt and trying to get guts and clicks and likes off me giving out some money. It's about these people really need this help. And if you could promote that. And at the time, I didn't have a non-profit organization to do that. I just was doing it from the good in my heart. But now it's like, I just want to spread the word that we got homeless people out here, man.
Right.
And we got these big old churches that's bigger than Walmart, but the homeless can't stay there when a hurricane come. You get what I'm saying? So we need to help them. And sometimes a $10 bill will stop somebody from robbing your tail. You get what I'm saying? Just to get to work, he robbing somebody to take some money when you could just come hand it to him and he going to work. All he wanted was a ride.
Right. So that was I said, like a lot of times you look at it, it's always the other side to look at something. And I always try to find the positive side. So when I saw you doing that, you know, I said, that's pretty cool right there. Hopefully it motivates other people to do it.
Right.
And I think it's happening more and more. And I don't think you was doing that just for some clicks.
No.
Because that was real money that you was actually putting out.
Yeah. No, definitely hard earned was going from the club straight to the homeless people. And not just that, one Christmas I actually made my daughters, they was mad at me. I say, this Christmas, I ain't buying y'all nothing for Christmas this Christmas. And at the time I ain't really have it, but this Christmas we're gonna practice reciprocation. We're gonna practice giving out the money we would have used for y'all gifts, giving it to people that actually don't have a place to stay.
How they received that?
They was mad at first, but as they got older, they went to watch the videos because now they in 12th grade and 9th grade, and now they looking at it like, Daddy, you really made us do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy that we ain't get nothing for real, and we gave it to people that really ain't have nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then the fact that you instill it in the young daughters, like earlier you was asking me, like, hey, man, how do you raise these kids? Or how do you raise? Because I done ran that race pretty much, you know. Yeah. And, you know, when you see brothers, or you just see fathers in general, it don't matter if you're a brother or not, that's actually leading by example and taking the flack, because of course you had to take some flack because your daughter's like, okay, you know, a lot of times when you're young, the younger generation or young people are more about themselves than seeing the big picture. But for you to stand on business and say, look, this is what we're going to do, that right there, it has to mean a lot now because it served its purpose and now they understand it.
Right. It take a village to raise a child. And the father don't get nothing but a pair of boxers for Father's Day. So
Pictures.
18 years of Father's Day, we ain't getting nothing but a boxers. Pair of boxers, but at the end of the day, it's a Chinese bamboo tree where you water that tree for 18 years, and in the last 18th year, it grow like the biggest tree.
Chinese, I love, hey, that's one of my favorite stories, man. You know, I always go back to the Chinese bamboo tree because that's one of the things that shows persistence,
Right.
consistency, and believing in self.
Right.
And anybody get a chance to check out that story of the Chinese bamboo tree, I think that's a good one for anybody that's doing something that they believe in and they truly feel it in their heart that on the end of the whatever it is they're doing, it's going to become exactly what they expected.
But you'll be watering the same spot for 5 years and nothing growing and your neighbor looking at you stupid. That's the whole moral of the story. Like, you watering the same spot, but nobody's seeing nothing break ground. But on the 5th year, it passed every tree around that tree. I'm talking about within 3 weeks to 5 weeks, the tree just explode. And that's what you got to think about with your goals. Like, it could take 5 years to be the life-changing year that you never saw coming. And that's pretty much my story. That's pretty much his story, because to play football, it take a lot of years where you just ain't getting no money from it, right?
No, you pay to play first. You
Exactly.
start out, you got to pay to play.
That's right. That's real.
And so that's when I always look at it. Everybody think that you can just go out there and play. We had to pay to play. But now things have changed a little bit. If you're good enough, they're going to pay for you to play because it's become so competitive. But we had to pay to play.
Right.
And on the end of that, we get paid to play.
Right.
So
you get all the money you put in.
Yeah, you get everything. Get a nice little return on your investment. Nice, you do it right.
And they give you a gold jacket at the end if you're good enough.
You got that's when you came by.
Yeah.
And then, like, for yourself, like, what are like some daily routine or strategies that you use for yourself personally to stay locked in, to stay focused? Because you know, after you go from, a lot of time I see a lot of guys that they come up without, and then they all of a sudden reach some level of success. And when they reach that success, they kind of level out or they don't keep going. Like, for yourself personally, like, what are some of the strategies that you use to maintain, to keep going? Because if everything ended today and you look back on Nino Brown, you say, man, look, man, I remember dog used to be in front of the Rolex selling CDs. Look at him. Now, shit, he's going out making big purchases.
For real,
he's doing nice things.
For real.
So what are some of the things that kept you grounded, that keep you hungry and steady going?
Persistence of a goal. Like, I always tell people, let's say somebody got a kidney failure. Let's say somebody got a heart situation or some kind of health situation, right? And let's say somebody just never gets sick, right? The people that never get sick is people that got a reason to wake up every day. The people that, like, you find yourself, you rarely call and say, hey, I can't make it today, I'm sick. Right. Because your driving you where you can't afford to get sick. You got to get it done. So a person with kidney failure, if he has a purpose, you understand me, to keep living, he going to find a reason to live. The day you stop working is the day you start dying. You get what I'm saying? So my whole thing is to create new goals, because once you get to this level of success, and me, I'm comfortable for life where if I don't get no bigger, I'm great, because I can still go in public and do what I want to do, and I'm still cool. When you get too big, where you can't go to your mailbox, it's uncomfortable no more. And when you get too much money, right, where you got to pay a bodyguard to watch you shop, it's too much, right? I don't want that. So my whole thing was always to be at a level of I'm just big enough, and create new goals, stay hungry. And once I eat that, create another, be an apex predator that can't be eaten, but we eating everything. Because the only thing on the mind of a shark is eat. So we got to wake up every day eating, or we going to be ate. And that's all I think about. How can I eat today? I'm trying to eat it. I'm trying to get it.
So on Create the Life, one thing that I'm always intrigued by is because people that's been around people that's successful, they notice certain things about those people or what separates those people. And I always like to ask the question, what makes the great great in
Right.
your eyes?
What makes the great great? The great is extraordinary. The regular people are ordinary. It's just the extra on the ordinary
My
that
man
makes you
lay it.
extraordinary. That make you great. And the thing about it is, like Mandela, like Gandhi, like Rosa Parks, like Martin Luther King, like Malcolm X, like Edgerrin James, like Nino Brown, like DJ Khaled, like Rick Ross. It's all about your story, his story, history. Whatever your story is, how deep in depth the trials and tribulations that you overcame to become what you became is what make you great. So you might, if you don't have a story, if you don't have the strength to endure under tough circumstances, resilience, you might want to avoid trying to step inside a great man's shoe, because it's going to come with some tests. It's going to come with some trials, some tribulations, and you might not be fit to be a king, because to be a king, you got to work like a slave, but they don't see that part. You get what I'm saying? They see the roles, they see the clothes, they see the diamonds, they see the house, but they don't see the grind when nobody back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. They don't see that part. They just see the money. They just see the success, the houses. They just see the glitter. But everything glitter ain't gold. It's all about your soul. That's what make you great. How you measure success is by how many people you bless.
My man Nino Brown giving us a sermon right now. I see you with that Create Life cup. Take a sip, boy. You just went deep on us right then.
Drinking life.
Hey, so if you look back on it and you look back at your story, would you say his story?
Right.
Your story is history because now you're on to something else.
Right.
When you look back at younger, rich kid,
Right.
like what advice would you give that young person that you see yourself used to be and where you at now? How can you expedite that learning curve or put them in a better position? What advice would you give a younger rich kid?
Just wait. Don't rush. You ain't got to rush. Just wait. Be a little nice. Stop being so mean. Be patient. Don't worry about them women right now. Don't worry about that chain. Don't do what they doing. Because you buy a Rolex, that don't make you a real. Because you buy a big car, that don't make you a real. Don't do what they doing. Just wait. Don't sign that deal with DJ Khaled. You don't need him. Don't mess with them people over there. Don't go to Diddy party. It's going to be some in 12 years from now, you ain't going to want to know Diddy. Don't do that. Don't go here. I know you want to do what they doing, and I'm talking how I be talking if I was an angel over my shoulder right now. And I'm young rich kid, no beard, chubby, trying to figure it out. Hey, man, don't worry about that money. That money, fast money get you slow time. Go with the slow grind. The turtle always beat the rabbit.
That's one of my favorite fables, man. Look at you. This kid coming in here kicking all this game, man. Gonna give us some game right here on Creative Life, man. Rich kid done created a life. And so when we talk about creative life, we like to also, you have to back it too.
Right.
And backing it in society, okay, you can be rich at heart, but ultimately you got to have the financial means,
Right.
or whatever. So when we go into finances, it's like, okay, how do rich kid coming from where he come from, and all of a sudden you got a few dollars coming in, then you got more coming in and more coming in. How does a person that has no history or have nobody that's been there, done that, step into a world where they're seeing the finances coming in. How do you deal with that part?
This is a great question. And I want to say this, and this is so great of a question. Here's why. It's a lot of young rookies finna go into the league and touch some money they never touched before. And I want to tell you something. I make almost $100,000 a month, right? And when I was first making that money, watch this now. I wasn't able to save no money because I was so much I wanted to buy when I was broke that I had to get it out my system. So I was buying. I had properties all over. I had this, I had that. I always wanted to do cruises. I don't know why. I was just doing a cruise every 2 weeks. Like, I just wanted to do some normal stuff that I couldn't do when I was broke. Believe it or not, it's simple, but it started to add up.
Right.
So I was spending about, out of the 100, I was spending about 102. So what that tell you, like I'm making 100, but I'm spending 2,000 over what I was bringing in, trying to maintain a lifestyle, creating a life.
You know, a quote that I always, when I think of that, I say, when your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep becomes your downfall. That's a quote that I live by. And that's exactly what you was making 100, but you was spending 102.
102. And them two's gonna kill you because 2 in 12 months turning what, about 24? So you spent 24,000 over the 100 you was getting. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So watch this. I did everything I wanted to do. I traveled. I went places. I bought my kids things. I threw big parties. I did a lot of stuff I wanted to do. Then I hit a bump. And the reason I'm telling you this, because it's somebody going through this right now with gambling. It's somebody going through this right now with drugs, addictions. It's somebody going through this right now chasing them women. Because the 3 ways a man go broke is women, drugs, gambling. That's the only 3 ways a man could go broke. Bad investments, we could overcome that. We could figure that out. That's called debt. But them 3 there, that's the one. And gambling being the worst one, because guess what? It's the only addiction you can actually win from. And you could win big.
Look at my man Nino kicking this game down, man.
So
Get it to him, Nino.
So watch this.
Look in your camera. Look in your camera and get it to him.
When I was spending all that money, when I was going through that bag, right, thumbing through that check, everybody around me getting spoiled. But I'm taking the hit. Don't nobody want to work no more. Don't nobody want to get out there and grind because I'm making 100 now. Why we grinding for? Now I'm taking care of 100 niggas too, right? So watch this. I got everybody I'm feeding. I got everybody I'm taking out of town. I'm getting hotel rooms for. I'm booking they stuff and doing this. And then I just hit a bump and I said, my income is coming in, but my outcome is going out and it's not matching up. It's not meeting ends at the end of the year, end of the month, right? And then I got to a point where I didn't need none of that stuff no more. I didn't need Gucci, Louis, Fendi. I ain't need none of that no more. I fired my barber. I learned how to cut. Sometimes I do too much. Sometimes I do too much. But guess what? I went to the barber. I went to everything because I started realizing them little things grow the big stuff. You get what I'm saying? And then I got all the shopping out my system, the traveling out my system. And then I started saying I'm going to save. I'm going to get out on a workout regimen. Because mind you, when you eating 5-star every night, you're going to get used to that. Now your stove at home, you got a stove you don't even use. You got cars. You got several cars, but you can only drive one. You got 10 bedrooms, but you can only sleep in one. You got all these things, right? 17 bathrooms, but you can only use one at a time. Cobweb. You got a car with flat tires in your front yard because the car ain't being used, not because it been punctured. Think about what I'm saying.
You preaching, man. You know that's the athletic lifestyle. All the young athletes kind of go through that. Not all. I mean, it's a lot. It's a reason why it's the percentages are where they at, because these things keep happening. And why can't we fix those things? Like, why does these things keep happening? Not just from an athletic, from an entertainment. Like, why do we continue to have to hear these same old stories.
Because they didn't listen to you when you was living off that compensation they was giving you during summer camp.
But it's bigger than me. But I'm saying even before
No, I
me.
know, but you. I'm not trying to overstep you, but you got to understand how you had discipline. I'm only saying that to say you seen that before you got in the league and knew I'm not finna do that.
But this the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I seen it, and the people before me seen it, and there are seminars,
Right.
symposiums.
Mm-hmm.
They put everybody in those classes, and there's so many examples of the pitfalls.
Right.
But for some reason, we continue to keep falling into that trap. It's like that's one of the biggest mysteries for myself to try to figure out, because me personally, I've done pretty good, but it's not about you after a certain point.
Yeah.
And it's like, what can we do to reach the athletes, entertainers, or anybody that's actually coming into, financial stability
that they never had.
that
Right.
they never had. So it's like that's like a mystery to me, because I don't care how much we talk about it. I don't care how many examples out there.
Right.
The needle never moves. It stays in the same position. Do you
Right.
think it's a systematic thing?
It is systematic.
You think so?
Let me tell you why. If all I'm seeing is rappers wearing Gucci, Louis, if all I'm seeing is this rapper driving this kind of car, if all I'm seeing is the influencers pushing this kind of woman, that's why all they women look the same. Cat Williams was in line. If all I'm seeing is the same narrative being pushed, and I'm a ball player and I feel like that's the way I could get in and be cool, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do it on a level that I can afford that they can't. So that's what happens, bro. That's why the ball players go get the Kardashian. That's why the ball player go get this car. That's why the ball player go get this chain, this house, this. And then they shame the Jalen Hurts and the wide receiver that play with him and say, hey, we finna get the small house.
Yeah, I saw that last week. They was talking about
They shaming him, but he's smart. And he got hundreds of millions in his contract that he gonna see because his house is only a couple $100,000.
Right.
So he ain't paying that much in taxes. He put a cow on the land. He living tax-free pretty much. People shaming the smart people, and they making the dumb people appear smart, but the rich stay rich by playing like they broke, and the broke stay broke by pretending like they rich. It's only so long a person could play rich, but a rich man could play broke forever.
Look at Nino Brown, man, kicking that game, man. I'm proud of you, man. Look at you, man. You've been in the lab. Hey, you've been in the lab, and plus, your eyes been open.
I've been watching, reading, listening.
A lot of people don't really read that much no more. I like to read,
Right.
I like to read, but a lot of people don't read because the audio thing or the audible thing, it's become pretty prevalent, but, I think it's important that more people read
Right.
and actually get into what's really
Right.
happening, like get off the surface.
Right.
Get off the surface. Go a little bit deeper
Right.
into what's going on, what's behind the moves.
Right.
But that's what creative life is all about. It's about opening eyes, shedding light,
Right.
and giving people the opportunity,
Right.
or giving them another option.
Right.
So we got my boy Nino Brown. We're gonna switch gears a little bit, and like you went heavy with the content and putting stuff out. So what was the shift, or what made you say, man, look, this right here is the move? You saw that stuff coming, or you was like, man, I'm just going to do this just to do it? But you took it to another level. Like, you jumped out there and you went content crazy, giving out information, but you got to be in the lab because you definitely in the know.
One of the people I respect and I don't see as much like I used to is Rick Ross, because out of all the rappers of that year of his class of music, he's still relevant only because of content, not because of music. He's a legend in the music, but his content has overshadowed to the point now his baby mama is getting big off the outskirts. No shade, but let's just be real. So when I say that, I say this. In this era here, content will be king. They will be teaching classes in trade schools on how to make content, and not everybody gonna be good at making content because it's hard to stand in the room with a camera that the camera ain't telling you doing your thing. It ain't clapping for you, and you gotta talk to that camera with power and precision, and you gotta act as if a million people finna sit there and listen. And that's what I do. I'm in a room all black, pitch black, just like this. And guess what? I'm talking to that camera as if I know I'm finna go viral. And that's what made me want to do this, because I realized hearts, right? So musicians touch ears. I wanted to touch hearts. Tupac music touch hearts. That's why he in the Hall of Fame of rock and roll, and he a rapper. Scarface music touch hearts. That's why his Tiny Desk went viral. You understand me? Certain musicians, when they do the music, it go past and penetrate the ear to the soul, to the heart. And when my words come out my mouth, it's a prophetic, prolific addition, because it's an addition to your life. Because I'm teaching you how to create the life you want to live.
My man. So what advice would you give somebody that's trying to create content or get into the content creation game?
I would tell them practice. Like, so a lot of people say, hey man, you can't do this when you 80 years old. So what you gonna do? What you don't know is I have been ordained to be a minister. So I'm gonna finish in a church. I'm not gonna even lie to you.
So you already know you're gonna be a pastor.
I got my license. I got everything. I have a church I'm closing on right now, actually. 2 of them actually. So it's like, I know I'm gonna finish in the church. In my 60s, I'm gonna start preaching, and we gonna go to the church and we gonna preach the word of God. I'm only 40. I'm saying only, but I feel younger than that. It's a blessing to say I'm 40, because I still feel like I'm 25 some days. Some days I wake up, the knees be aching, and I be 40, but I'm 40. You know what I'm saying? And blessed to say that with no gray hair. Blessed to say that with all my limbs. Blessed to say that with no health problems, man, no issues. So I'm blessed to say that. So I know where I'm gonna finish, and I know how I started, and I know I've been to the White House. I done business with Trump. I know that I've been in there from a street dude perspective, not a political speaker, not an attorney, not somebody that's, you understand me, pushing a political view. I was pushing laws for my people. And when I'm telling you that, to say, go back to the content jank, if somebody trying to do content, man, I would say go in your room and practice. I would say release videos. See, I did it when World Star was around. So the whole comment section was hating on Floyd Mayweather and whoever dropped the video that day on World Star. So you became immune to comments. So if you're not immune to haters, if you're not immune to what the bad things people gonna say about you, if you don't know how to take constructive criticism, this job might not just be for you. You need to stay out the comment section. You understand me? And get back into the content. Because long as they watching you, long as they paying attention to you, a view gonna turn into a like. And a few gonna like. And next thing you know, you got a couple million watching at night, telling their friends about you. Just stay persistent. Don't stop. Don't stop. Every day, give them something. Every day. Don't worry about what they gonna say. They gonna judge you. Listen. Your testimony gonna be somebody's survival guide on how to make it about their problems, out of their life right now they going through. And the things you doing, if you stop right now, somebody watching you, hoping you make it, and somebody watching you, hoping you stop. But no matter what, they all watching.
So you done mastered that. I hear the tone in your voice, man. I said you was getting deep in that passion, boy. You was into it. So fast forward. Now you started this years ago.
Right.
Now we're in the AI era. Mm-hmm. How do you think the AI going to affect the content creators?
Oh, it's going to be crazy, because here's why. AI going to make people lazy. My man was just showing me a song he just made with AI. That's dangerous. So it's like you can make millions now without going into the studio. That's scary. Not just that, the AI don't have a heart. This is the problem with AI that nobody understands. The problem with AI is when you tell it what to do, when you show it what you like, when you show it the way you like it, it's studying you to one day turn on you. One day it's going to create another you based off what you told it. And now you battling you. Now you Gemini, man. You better start watching these movies, because the movie's telling you what you finna face.
Look at my man. My man kicking it down, man. My man on his A game. One of my favorite parts of Creative Life is lifestyle leisure.
Right.
You know, because that's always the ultimate goal. Everybody want to get to that point to where they feel like I've reached success or I've actually accomplished something. And talking to you earlier, you accomplished that Rolls Royce thing. I'm on my second one, and so it's a good feeling. It's a different vehicle,
Right.
and when you get in that space right there, it's a different type of motivation when you get in there. So I know you feel it,
Right.
and so tell me how you decided to go pick a Rolls Royce over any other vehicle.
So I had rented a Corvette Z06 or something like that. At one point, them was like the highest. Like for some reason, everybody wanted a Corvette Z06. So I went and rented a 24. I actually liked it. So I said, man, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get the trunk of this car. I'm gonna go get the Ferrari. I called Ferrari Miami, top of the line dealership. I want the VIP treatment, so they walked me through showroom flow. They say, hey, we got the Spider right here, $485,000. So I say, cool. They only had one Rolls Royce Wraith on the lot, and it wasn't on the showroom floor, but it was outside, and it just said, this is you. This is when you pull up, no tents. This is you. And I just stood there for a moment, and I say, hey, let me see this car, And the guy went and got the key, and the guy was like, yeah, this is nice, but that Spider, this and that, right? So I'm like looking at it, and I'm weighing it up, and then I say, man, I'm too fat to be getting about this Ferrari every day. I was having hell getting about this Corvette sometime I fall, right? So I'm like, yo, I can't drive this every day. So at a point of the sale, I said, this is me. And I told him, this is soul.
You bought it on the spot.
And I bought it right then. And when I when I bought it, I rode off the lot. It took us less than an hour to do the deal. We was just waiting on my insurance everything was checked out. 2 seconds. So when I bought it, I started playing Luther Vandross Superstar. And I'm just riding down I-95. And the scary part is, it was my daughter prom day, 8th grade prom. And she looking at this like this a rented vehicle. She don't even know I bought it. So when she got in the car to go to prom, I told her, I said, I only bought, I bought this for you. This your prom day. This your prom gift. Daddy got a Rolls Royce. You wake up every day, it's in the yard. We don't have to rent it no more. We made it.
My man, rich kid, man. My boy, rich kid, man.
It's a blessing.
Nah, it's hey man, it's really inspiration because I done seen where you came from. And then now I'm looking at my man, he rolling heavy, and then he brought the daughter into play.
Still light though.
Still light.
Rolling heavy, still light though.
But you outside, man. You don't go pick up that until you that.
Yeah, but step back before you step forward. And I stepped back and looked at that. I looked at the whole situation and how it made sense. All my cars, you understand me? I feel like this, man. If you ever gonna buy a dog that fits you. Some people get dogs just because I like what they like. I like Frenchies because they got a Frenchie. But a Frenchie don't say EJ on it. A pit bull, a bull massive,
that fit you.
A cane corso say EJ. That's that say EJ, right?
Boy,
so you
Nino,
creating a life,
man.
the cane corso protecting your life, right? That say EJ.
So don't go get a Frenchie because everybody got.
No, don't go get you a Lady Gaga. Don't go get the Lady Gaga.
Get what fits you.
Get what fits you. Create
hey,
that fits you.
That's what creative life is all about. When I think of creative life, man, I think of what would you do if money wasn't an issue, if people didn't judge you,
right.
If you say, man, this is what makes me happy. And I don't see a lot of that going on. I see a lot of people look the same, they're doing the same, which is, it's a preference. But for me, I'd rather rock out with what I like. So but I ain't going to get no course. So I don't even want no dog, man.
No, they high maintenance for no reason.
No, it's a difference. The difference is you have to understand when you go get a dog, you got to understand your personal situation.
Right.
Because if somebody else dog go bite somebody else and they get sued, it ain't no big deal. If my dog go bite somebody else, I got a big issue. So I just stay away from things like that because I'm like, man, this really not worth it. I can't control no dog. I can't control the situation. And so I'd rather visit somebody with a dog.
Right.
You know, it makes more sense for me financially. You got to always make a business decision because you one move away from being back in front of the Rolex selling CDs, boy.
No. And then you one move away from buying the Rolex. So you gotta choose which one you wanna be. So but this the thing, right, about create your life that people don't understand too. So I always tell people this scenario about money because everybody is money motivated. But let's think about when we was growing up, right? What was fun on Christmas Day? More fun than opening the gifts when we rode the bikes. Everybody rode bikes, right? So what I'm getting at with that is, let's say you was alone and the world and bank vaults was open and money was just everywhere, but you alone. Let's say you could grab all the money you want. You grab trillions, zillions, whatever you think you want, but you by yourself. It's no fun unless you got people to share it with, unless you got people to come with you. I always tell people, one Rolls Royce is cool, but it's better when it's two. You get what I'm saying? It's cool when you getting some money, but it's better when you light somebody else's candle and for a second your light shine harder when you lighting somebody else's candle. It's cool. So always think, who can I help? Who can I reach back and pull up when you do get that money?
But you know, like, so I agree with you on that. And I also see that's what we try to do culturally, or like say you come into money as a entertainer or a ball player.
Right.
But we get the wrong people the money, or we give people money that's not really truly deserving.
Right.
And I think that's the difference. You know, everybody, like, I never went nowhere without my people, my family, my crew, or whatever. You know, like you gonna bring them, but at the same time, you start to handicap them. Right. You start to put them in a situation to where they really don't understand, you know, what it took to get this, and this opportunity could be gone if we don't manage it right. And I think that's what kind of answers the question, or it's a partial answer to the question of why those statistics are where they at and why so many people have that downfall, because culturally we love having our people around.
Right.
If you look at every crew got an entourage.
Yeah.
But I just think the quality of the entourage is the disconnect.
Right.
And so if you don't have people that you put in a position they're not receptive to it, then you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people spending that money versus multiplying it and actually putting them in position. So it's one of those catch-22 kind of,
right.
It's a catch-22 type of situation, because we want to put people on, but we're putting people that's probably not ready.
Right.
They're probably not ready, because
right.
over a period of time, you can learn this game.
Right.
You can learn all this stuff, and we can go from there. And so,
but it's like giving a kid a car. The car's still a blessing, but it become a curse because they wasn't ready for it, because they didn't pass the driver's exam. Right. So you could give a kid a Rolls Royce at the age of 14, but they don't know how to drive, so that car go crash, and guess what? It's a curse now. It's still a blessing to somebody else that got the credentials that qualify.
Right.
So you saying quality, and that's why I say in the beginning of the interview, I said 4 quarters versus 100 pennies. Right. You can have 100 people around you that ain't about shit, about nothing, right? But then you got 4 quality people that work as if it's 100 men.
Right.
Quality. 4 corners. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to lay that out there. But you're right. If you could reach back and pull up a quality person, or train somebody, or do something for somebody that got the potential, that just lacked the father figure and the guidance, do that. Because though they can't repay you, the Most High or the universe will make sure things work in your favor for doing that.
All right. So yeah, we're at this point of the Create Life segment where we like to give like the one hitter quitter or quick hits,
Right.
and the rapid fire type. So, what's favorite car?
Rolls Royce.
What's your secret talent?
Skating.
You know how to skate?
Yeah, I know how to skate.
Nino Brown don't know how to get out there.
I know how to skate.
If it was Nino Brown, Usher.
Usher got me. That Super Bowl performance, Usher got me.
Yeah. Favorite spot in Miami?
Houston's.
Just the restaurant?
Just the restaurant.
I don't never see you there. I'll be there.
I go there once or twice a week.
Oh, you got to invite me sometime.
Come on.
But yeah, we got my boy Nino Brown here, man. Nah, man, it's dope racking out with my boy Nino Brown, man.
No
Create
doubt.
the life, man. That's what we try to do. That we try to inspire, motivate, uplift people, you know, not from a clickbait standpoint,
No.
but from a position of giving insight for those that want to listen. Because everybody don't want to listen. I see a lot of people, they like the memes and the jokes, and they all cool and all, but at the end of the day, I always try to think about the end result. And so there you have it. You got my boy Nino Brown.
Yes, sir.
And you can catch my boy Nino Brown on his social media.
Yeah.
And he can give you all that information right there because he big on that right now.
So I got like 1.2, 1.3 million followers on Instagram, Nino Brown 305. I got 2.2 million followers, 2.3 million followers, I believe, on Facebook, Nino Brown Miami. I got another 500,000 on YouTube, Nino Brown 305, TikTok, Nino Brown Miami, or something like that. I'm all over the place. You can catch me wherever, whenever, however, but I'm always real because I'm clever. I'm a thinking man. I'm wise. I don't play no game and I don't tell no lies. Just throw that. You understand me? But nah, real is real, fake is everywhere. And I just want to encourage you, man, to keep your feet in front of you, man. If you could look up, you could get up. So make sure you fall on your back. For real, for real.
My man, Nino Brown, Create the Life. This been a dope episode, man. My man gonna come on here again because I always like repeats because I want to see the growth in everybody because we
Right.
don't stop at no point. Create the Life you want to live. Catch us on YouTube and all the other social media handles.
Right.